Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the One-Stop Shop Workforce Solutions and Vocational Rehab Partnership meeting. Thank you so much for attending today. We've got a lot of information for you. We have some great speakers for you as well. And just wanted to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to join us here at Workforce Solutions and Texas Vocational Rehab. And we're going to start our presentation off today with a video about hiring disabled employees, and then we're going to jump right in and introduce our moderator for the day, Robyn Farris.
With every box that's opened, every button that's pressed, and every crate that's sorted, employees at this Walgreens distribution center in Windsor, Connecticut are breaking down barriers. Just ask Julie Williard.
It's my dream to work here. It is okay to be yourself, and it's okay to be deaf, and it's okay to have disabilities while you work.
More than 40% of the people working here report having a disability.
When you have autism like I have, it's tough to overcome it when you work, and when you get better at it, then you'll pick up the pace and you go from there.
I may have a seizure. It will cause me to fall backward.
This is something that you think has held you back in the past?
Yes, it has.
The thing that makes this building different is that people are accepted. That's okay. Everyone is working right next to each other. 80% of this department is people with disabilities, and you really can't tell one from the other.
And that's the point. Did this idea also come out of something personal in your life?
Certainly. I mean, I have a son with autism who is now 23.
For Walgreens' Randy Lewis, what began as an experiment has been a revelation for the company, which now plans to introduce Lewis's program in its retail stores.
We sell people with disabilities short. We think their abilities are like this. What we found is they're much broader.
Equality is at the core of Walgreens' inclusive hiring policy. Equal pay, equal work, and equal expectations, sometimes with a little help to make sure everyone can meet those expectations.
If you look up here at this workstation, we have a picture of a cow. So this whole department is called the zoo. This is station 11, but if I don't know numbers, 11 doesn't mean anything to me. So we name it the cow station as well.
The special accommodations cost the company less than $25 per worker. And Lewis says workers with disabilities have fewer workplace accidents, lower absenteeism, and lower turnover than people without disabilities.
It's the people without disabilities to realize that we are a community, that we're part of something bigger. Yes, we're capitalists and we have to serve our shareholders, but we have to serve each other in our community.
Allison Cossack, CNN, Windsor, Connecticut.
And I think it's important to note here that Walgreens is a big supporter of our initiatives here, our Summer Earn and Learn program and other initiatives here in the Texas area to help disabled workers. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The numbers of participating folks just keeps going up. We thank you very much for that. We're at 31 participants right now, and that's awesome. My name is Carl Braun. I am the Business Services Manager for the 9-county Rural Capital Area. We are one of 28 boards, 28 workforce boards in Texas, and our workforce boards are separated by counties in all circumstances. And so we just want to go ahead and make sure that you folks have a good experience right now. If you're having trouble hearing us right now, please raise the volume on your computer. We're broadcasting and it seems to be going fairly well. So let's just see how we go. I'd like to introduce to you our moderator for today's event. Her name is Robyn Farris. And if we can get the screen here to cooperate, that would be awesome. And let's just see what happens here. Yeah, I just don't know why it's not advancing. There we go. And so here we are. Our moderator for the day is Robyn Farris. She's a physical disabilities expert, but Robyn is also a senior vocational rehabilitation counselor operating out of our office in Round Rock, Texas. And Round Rock, we have, I believe it's 18 people now, Robyn, right? 18 folks on the vocational rehab side. Yep, and in this location. Robyn holds an undergraduate degree in communications and master's degree in vocational rehab counseling from the University of Texas at Austin, Hook 'em Horns. She's also happily married for the last 12 years, has 4 adorable fur kids. She loves traveling with her husband, Dwayne, in their free time, including cruising around the Caribbean islands. Most of us are jealous at the amount of time you get to spend in the Caribbean islands, Robyn. So I'm going to turn the podium over to you. I see your microphone is open, and let's see where we go from here. Robyn, it's all you.
Thanks for having me as the moderator today. Hopefully I'll do a little bit better job at moderating than Chris Wallace did the other day, but I wanted to give you some background information about the history of vocational rehabilitation. A lot of people don't know how far back it goes, and actually it has roots all the way back until World War I, and due to the availability of modern medicines, a lot of the injured soldiers were more able to come back better than they were before. However, many of these injured soldiers had permanent disabilities, so they could no longer return to their jobs that they had pre-war. This started with the Soldiers Rehabilitation Act of 1918, which provided soldiers not only money to live on, but also on-the-job training in a new career that would not exacerbate their disability limitations. For example, a farmer who may have lost a limb at war may now be trained as a less physical job as a drafter. The program became so popular, and that after many years and many amendments, the law became the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, which not only included veterans with disabilities, but also all people with disabilities who had barriers to employment. One of the best aspects that I love about the program is the return on investment. Even after World War II and completing the program, every $1 that was spent on the taxpayers' money on this program, on training and support of the VR program, the successful applicants later paid 7 times that amount back in taxes once they were working. So I know that the return on investment these days is even greater than it was before. Throughout the years, the VR program has
Hey, Robyn, I think you should be okay now.
okay. Next
Just
slide.
lost the signal.
How do we get to the next slide? Okay, there we go. So you might be wondering what vocational rehabilitation services is and what services we offer. VR stands for Vocational Rehabilitation Services, which provide services for people with disabilities to help them prepare for, obtain, retain, or advance in employment. You might be eligible for vocational rehab services if you have a disability which results in substantial barriers to employment, or you require services to either prepare for, obtain, retain, or even advance in employment as a result of these services. Some of the VR services we provide are, and the list is very long, vocational counseling and guidance, referrals for hearing, visual, and other examinations, assistance with medical appointments and treatment, rehabilitation devices, such as assistive technology, which includes hearing aids, wheelchairs, artificial limbs, therapy to address a disability, including occupational or speech therapy and behavior analysis, physical restoration services, medical, psychological, and vocational assessments, assistance with college education or trade certification, on-the-job training, training in the workplace and employer expectations, vocational adjustment training, and rehabilitation teachers, services to help you learn Braille, orientation, mobility, and home and health management skills if you are blind or have a visual impairment, supported employment services, adaptive vehicle modifications, allowing people with disabilities to drive, follow-up and supported employment services to help you maintain employment, and referral to the Business Enterprises of Texas, Chris Cole Rehabilitation Center, and other state, federal, and community agencies and organizations. Here we have another video on working with people with disabilities.
This is Autism Awareness Month, and tonight, a story about a local company with a special commitment to hiring people with intellectual or physical disabilities, and it is working out well for everyone.
It's called VERC Enterprises, and I'm actually going to be presenting them a special award tonight on behalf of the May Institute. We got a chance to see the program in action. This is Abby. She's 18 years old and loves her cleaning job at the Gulf Station, which is owned by VERC Enterprises in Raynham.
What's your favorite part of working at VERC?
Cleaning refrigerators.
Cleaning the refrigerators, that's right. What else? What else do? You just tell me something else you like to do.
Empty about trash.
She also keeps the glass cases spotless and makes sure the drink labels are facing the customer. Abby is a student at the May Center School in Randolph, a nonprofit that serves young people with autism and other developmental disabilities. Kim Higgins is Abby's job coach.
Abby's been working here for about 3.5 years. She works 2 days a week. For Abby, it builds up her confidence, her independence.
VERC Enterprises is a leader in hiring people with disabilities to work in its 30 convenience stores, gas stations, and car washes.
They're always happy, they're always engaged, they do great, they love coming to work.
Lou Vercoloni runs the family business. He's committed to filling 20% of his jobs with people with disabilities.
With 360 employees, we're up to about 75 individuals with intellectual developmental disabilities.
Abby, how's work today?
Good.
What we have found and what VERC has found is that our students who come in as employees are reliable, they're on time, and they're here to do their jobs.
There's a huge need. That population is underemployed by well over 50%.
For taking the lead on hiring people with disabilities, the May Institute is giving VERC Enterprises its President's Award. Tonight, I have the honor of emceeing that event. We'll have a little bit more coming up at 11 o'clock as well. But it makes you want to shop at a place like that, too, to know that they're taking such good care of people in the community.
And it also says to other businesses, you can do this, too. Yeah. This is an effort we can all share, and so this is going to be a great night.
It's great. Can't wait to give them the award.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of local employers who have definitely benefited from hiring individuals with disabilities. We once had a car wash, Precision Car Wash, that purposely sought out individuals with autism to help with their car wash. And what I like to say is my disability is my specialty. What that means is what might not be interesting to you might be something that someone else loves to do. For example, some individuals with autism like doing things that are consistent and repetitive. So when we worked with the car wash, they would be able to fold the towels and wash the towels and clean the cars. And it really was a great partnership at that time. And that model has actually expanded to other states as well. So next, I would like to segue into my beautiful coworker, Ms. Stephanie Mora. She's a talent development specialist with the youth, and she graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology from Silliman University. She worked as a talent development specialist for Workforce Solutions since October of 2018. She's a current member of Toastmasters International, former VP of the Renaissance Youth Leaders Forum, and former chairperson of Student Union Reforms Party, former PRO for Silliman University College of Arts and Sciences Student Council. We are definitely lucky to have her. She's also a mom of a 90-pound paw baby named Nacho and a loving cat named Waffles, and her favorite hobby is hiking with Nacho. Miss Stephanie?
So, I am a case manager for the Youth Services WIOA, and it stands for Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act Program. What does this mean? Simple for me. I help my customers find and build their career. It's not a job, but a career. But how do we do that? There are certain steps. And let's say, for example, there's one customer that Robyn has, and Robyn reaches out to me and say, Stephanie, can you help out this customer? So while that customer is Robyn's customer, I can also serve that customer being a WIOA customer. So these are our services. One is personalized goal planning. Of course, each person have their own needs. Each person's have their different goals. And so we personalize it. Do they need tutoring services to achieve their career goal? Let's say they want to be a nurse one day. Do they need tutoring services? Or let's say they don't have an idea what to do later in life. Do they need career exploration? What do they need to know for a job? Let's say my job. What do I need to know? How much does it get paid? And I'll go to that and I'll give you links and later on about these career exploration websites. And we provide guidance and counseling, coaching, for example. We counsel them on how to be at their best during interviews, how to be at their best with communication at the workplace. We help them find college and financial aid information. And of course, labor market information goes with career exploration at the same time. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more about paid or unpaid internships later on. So, and the job search assistance, of course, I'm gonna give out referrals, contact employers, or get the help from the business services team to talk to employers about the customer I have that could qualify for a job. And we have career training as well, and work readiness. So that comes with learning how to create their own resume. That comes with learning how to create their cover letters. And that comes with how to be properly acquainted with communication at the workplace. And that goes with the workshops. At the Workforce Solutions, we have workshops for all of those work readiness skills. So we have them every month, and I usually recommend my customers to attend to any of those workshops. And if a kid comes to me and say, I need help completing my high school diploma or GED, then we can potentially assist them. Next slide, please. So I've mentioned earlier about career exploration. So let's say Robyn's customer, who will be my customer as well, or who is my customer as well, this is confused which path to take. So this customer does not know whether he wants to be an HVAC, a nurse, or an engineer. So we use the Tradeify assessment. It's a 1-minute career assessment to where it will match them to careers based on their personality. Work in Texas is another tool for job search. In Work in Texas, you can have labor market information. Let's say you want to learn more about mechanical engineering. So there's a place on Work in Texas that you can look that up, as well as you can access our calendars of the workshops and job fairs through Work in Texas. And also if you want to access trainings, online trainings, we have an educational designated icon through Work in Texas that gives you the resources to get all the necessary online trainings you want. Career One Stop and Texas Career Checks. So let's say you want to make an informed decision about what you want to do as a career. So if you want to know the pay of mechanical engineering, if you want to know their daily activities, what skills they need, what knowledge that's relevant for that career, and as well as what certifications you need for that career, I go to those 2 websites where it will give me all the information necessary to make an informed decision. And Texas Reality Check is a good resource for financial literacy. So let's say, once again, I'll use the mechanical engineering example. How much do they get paid in 1 year? Texas Reality Check will help you have a vision of your budget for every month. So let's say this is how much you'll have a take-home income. And it will ask you, okay, for your housing, is it for 1 bedroom, $1,000, we'll deduct it, and all other expenses that you need to deduct. And it will give you an idea that if this career can help you sustain on your needs. Next slide, please. So these are the job search resources that we always tell our clients to go to. Number 1, of course, is the internet. So, of course, we can just access internet even from our phone. So I do job search from a phone. Okay, that's fine. So we can do job search from the phone as well using the internet. So there are other resources for job search as well that still exist today. And one of which is networking. We can get networks through friends and relatives and all other of these resources. There's one customer that I referred to a labor union, and he was able to find a job immediately. So that's another resource as well. Next slide. Oh, previous slides, please. Before that. Okay, work experience. So I sometimes call this internship. What do we do with work experience? So this one, I work with the team. I work with colleagues on this, most especially the business services team. So along with my colleagues, we will find an employer to give our customer the work experience they need. So let's say a customer doesn't have an experience with customer service, but they need that skill and experience at their resume. So to have that, we will connect them to the employer that will allow them to volunteer as a customer service agent rather, for up to 12 weeks at no cost to the employer. And we will potentially pay the customer for the hours that they're doing the work experience. We can potentially pay up to 40 hours per week, up to 12 weeks. And how does that work? How we determine the pay? It depends on the employer's starting pay. So if the employer starting pay for customer service agent position is $12, then we will match it. So we work with Unique HR as well to facilitate the payroll on that one. And if the customer needs some skills to gain through online trainings, like we use the Academy and LinkedIn Learning, we can do those as well. So I happen to be an admin for LinkedIn Learning, and I can assign my customers for all the necessary skills for them to be successful with work experience. And next one, Texas Internship Challenge. So if a customer is interested with pay outside my program, that's the website that they can go to. So all the employers that are looking for interns, they put all their job postings in that website. And target occupation lists. So I've mentioned earlier that one of our services is career training. So in career training, these occupations, we can potentially pay for the tuition, training materials, support services, and reimbursement of $10 each day that they have to travel to attend to one of these trainings. Now, if they have a career that's outside of this occupation list, that's fine, that's okay. We may never be able to potentially pay for tuition, but we can potentially help them with textbooks and other training materials that they are required for the first semester. Next slide. All right, and now I'm going to return it to Robyn to navigate our presentation.
Our next presenter is Miss Michelle Watson, Student Hireability Navigator. And Miss Michelle graduated from Texas Wesleyan University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mass Communication and Journalism, and from the University of Phoenix with a Master of Arts in Secondary Education. She's worked with the Workforce Solutions since March 2019, working in the capacity of a Student Hireability Navigator since November of 2019, which is actually a very new role in our agency. Her background also includes 10 years of teaching with Austin Independent School District, and she loves to travel just like I do, and she's really enjoying being a recently emptied nest. Miss Michelle?
Thank you so much, Robyn. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, and good afternoon. Thank you to all who are taking time out of their day this afternoon to join us. My name, again, is Michelle Watson, and I do have the privilege of partnering with all of the programs represented here on the panel by my colleagues. I am the Student Hireability Navigator with Workforce Solutions Rural Capital Area. I serve all 9 counties immediately surrounding Travis County, And as a student hireability navigator, I focus on services for students with disabilities who are in the early phases of preparing to transition to post-secondary education opportunities as well as employment opportunities. This student is in the process, or he or she will find themselves in the process of being engaged in pre-employment transition services, or as we also call it, pre-ETS. These pre-employment transition services are comprised of the following: career exploration, and my colleague Stephanie mentioned a little bit about what our students are doing when they're exploring options and opportunities, and the paths that they are interested in taking, work-based learning experiences. This is where our student will be able to go into the workplace, gain some experience and knowledge, to find out, ultimately if that is an area where they would like to pursue and if it's a good fit. Post-secondary training, again, some of our students will elect to pursue post-secondary opportunities, and some will immediately go into employment. Workplace readiness, here is where our students again will gain that experience in the workplace, learn etiquette, learn a skill set that will help them advance in their endeavors. And then lastly, self-advocacy. And here is where our students get to learn, and feel comfortable about saying what they need, what their rights are, as they move forward in their endeavors. So some of the benefits of hiring a person with a special ability or differing ability, please note that I've listed 5 here, but they are numerous. One of them would be staff retention, increased performance, diversity, creativity, and improved reputation. So when I go out into our communities to speak with employers, it's really just to bring an awareness that this population is untapped and is a great resource to be considered when employers are looking to hire. And so it's something that I'm really passionate about. Our young people want to contribute to the communities that they live in, just like we do. And so what I'm really passionate about is just speaking to employers to bring that awareness of the importance to include this population of young people when they are looking to staff their businesses. So what I decided to focus on a little bit in my section of this presentation today was overcoming unconscious bias in hiring individuals with differing abilities. So I just selected a few of the biases that we can have. Of course, there are more, but I've listed here that oftentimes employers are hesitant to hire someone with a disability due to their own unrecognized personal biases. And here I would just gently encourage that we all search within to see what biases we may have, identify those, and work to educate ourselves and affect our thinking so that we create opportunities for ourselves in doing so. Next, while someone on the spectrum may need an accommodation, it does not mean that an individual of differing ability will not be able to perform well or even better in some circumstances. And although, I know I'm speaking to employers today, I do need to reference my time in the classroom where, the classroom is really more inclusive than ever before. And so, I had students, who had differing abilities, and this one particular student was autistic, and we had quizzes every week. And so, of course, as a teacher, reminding them, your quiz is coming up on Friday, are you ready? And this one student, he would tell me, oh, I don't need to study. I don't need to study, Ms. Watson. I'm like, okay. And sure enough, all year, hundreds, just perfect score. And so, just know that, the young people our young people with differing abilities are definitely able to perform well and above some others in the same instance. And next, I have, in today's society, a company cannot consider itself to be a model or not have inclusion and diversity as part of its overall strategy and commitment. So I would encourage employers to think about that. And lastly, I have here that this is a vast, untapped market. Employers who will actively participate in hiring people with differing abilities will have access to a talent pool of more than 10.7 million people with diverse strengths, leadership styles, and ways of thinking. And lastly, I thought I would leave employers with how can your business or company address unconscious bias, if it does exist, toward individuals with differing abilities. And I will just spotlight a few here. Employers in the hiring process can begin by including disability as part of your diversity program. You can also train supervisors and hiring managers on unconscious bias toward individuals that may exist with disabilities. You can establish hiring goals and put metrics in place to measure your progress and determine how often that would happen. And be willing to focus your thinking on ability rather than disability. I'll go with read the last one here, and please make sure that all of your positions have documented descriptions and measure applicants against their ability to perform those responsibilities with reasonable accommodations if necessary. Next slide, please. I am leaving my portion of the presentation with my contact information. I welcome any and all contact. If you have questions about what I do, any further questions about what I do, please reach out to me. You can call me, or you can, I don't have my email here, I do apologize. So you can definitely reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to speak with you. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle. I just have a quick question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So we were wondering, what do you feel are the benefits in partnership directly with vocational rehab services? You've been in this position a little over a year now, and my question is kind of what are the benefits you've seen so far now that you've gotten your feet wet and gotten to meet all of us?
Yes, I've learned a lot, and I'll take it from the perspective of the student. Students do reach out to me, and I have the opportunity to listen to what they're going through and some of the goals that they have. And then when I communicate with vocational rehabilitation, I do receive more information, more education on how to best serve this student. So it's a great collaboration. As far as vocational rehabilitation goes, I definitely am passionate about hearing more of what those needs are so that I can be of service to the student who is looking to transition, as well as that, placement into employment opportunities with employers and in the communities in which they live.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate your service to our students with disabilities.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, next on our panel is Mr. Craig Henry. He's in our business services department, so he is a business solutions consultant. And Craig graduated from Southwest Texas State University with a business degree. He's been a business services representative with the Texas Workforce Solutions since February of 2012. I will now roll it over to Mr. Craig.
Thank you, Robyn, and I appreciate everyone who participated today. Appreciate your time, and hopefully you'll walk away with this information and put it to good use. I am one of 8 business solutions representatives that covers our 9-county area. all of the business solutions representatives basically work for you, the employer. We will hope to establish a long-term, meaningful relationship with you, come in and see where you're at as far as your hiring and staffing needs are, and fit the best solution in with your situation. We establish relationships with not only employers, but with chambers of commerce, with economic development corporations, local community groups, and try to assimilate ourselves into each community. Each community is has different priorities and different skill sets that they require. I myself, I'm a member of chambers committees in Leander, Liberty Hill, and Georgetown. And each community has a different priority. In Georgetown, I'm working with the chamber on a manufacturing alliance committee, and we try to support Georgetown manufacturers and get their young people that are coming out of college and out of high school and prepare them for manufacturing jobs in that area. In Liberty Hill, I work with the chamber and the school district on they're preparing to put in a brand new wing to their high school, and we're working to get the trades into that curriculum. So you as an employer, hopefully you're taking advantage of workintexas.com. Work in Texas is provided through the Texas Workforce Commission. It is a free job posting platform where you can go in and put your jobs into the platform, and the first 48 hours of that job posting is only seen by our veterans. The men and women that served our country get the first chance to look at all of those jobs. After that, the job posting is released to the general public, and people will be sent an email via it's called a job match alerts, and you will be told what the job entails, the job description, the qualification, the education, and you'll be invited to apply for that job either by going on the employer's website or sending them an email or calling them. Right now, as of today, Work in Texas has 720,000 jobs available to anyone that's looking for employment in the state of Texas. So if you're not already posting your jobs on Work in Texas, we invite you to go ahead and register as a employer and start posting your jobs on there. If you need assistance, you can always call myself or one of my coworkers in Business Solutions, and we can assist you with registration. We also provide, as soon as our centers are back open, on-site recruiting, interviewing, and hiring. A few years ago, when we found out that Costco was going to open a brand new location in Cedar Park, they were needing a space to do their recruiting. So we let them come in to the Round Rock Center. We gave them 7 cubicles, and they ran 500 applicants through our Round Rock location, and they hired 150 employees in a 2-week time span. So that worked out very well for the employer. By the time the Costco was ready to open up, they were fully staffed and ready to go. We also do virtual recruiting. As a matter of fact, today from 10 to 4, Kalahari Resort and Convention Center is doing an online virtual job fair for all of their positions. They're looking to hire about 1,000 people between now and the time they open in November.